Hi, my name is Lawson, and I live in Marshall, Arkansas, with my husband of 16 years, Nick, and our 15-year-old son, Zach, and we have lived in Marshall for 14 years. My life now as a wife and mom is totally different when I was growing up. I was raised on a cotton and soybean farm in Gosnell, Arkansas. My dad was a foreman for a 2,000-acre farm. Growing up, I didn't have any animals except for a family inside dog. I didn't think I was ever around any other animal except for cats and dogs. I was never one who liked to be outside or nature things. I didn't like to be sweaty or dirty. I didn't like hot weather, and I didn't like cold weather. I also didn't like to touch animals or for animals to touch me because they were dirty and they smelled bad. My husband, however, is the exact opposite. He was always raised around animals. Growing up, his family had a dairy farm, and they later switched to beef cows. He always had a horse or two or three or four. On weekends, we would come down and we'd help his granny with her animals, and I hated every minute of it. I didn't want to mess with the cows, the horses, or anything, so I stayed inside and didn't bother with them. When we had our son Zach, my husband wanted him to be raised on the family farm with all the animals because he didn't want Zach to be scared, and he didn't want Zach not to like animals like his mother did. At first, I was not sure about this since I didn't want anything to do with animals. And living on a farm, I knew that eventually I'd have to touch an animal. But I went along with it because I knew it would be the best for Zach. But in the back of my head, I was always thinking that as soon as my husband left for work, the animals would get out and I'd have to touch them. I'd have to mess with them. And sure enough, that's what happened. But I did it, and it wasn't so bad after all. The animals didn't bite me, touch me, maul me, anything. So I just went along with it. And now, I can't see myself living anywhere else except for on our farm with all of our animals. We have cows, goats, and chickens. My son shows cows and goats for the 4-H and the FFA. So one of us is always working with the animals in one way or the other. I'm proud to say that I've helped a cow give birth and a goat. I've cleaned up a baby cow and a baby goat after birth, and I've bottle-fed baby cows, and I've even milked a goat. I still don't like to get dirty or sweaty, and I don't like to touch animals, but I realize that living on a farm is what it is, and I wouldn't change it for any other thing.
Very good.